Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 2023 Cowboys starter asking former team to bring him back, report. The Dallas Cowboys have already lost a few different defensive pieces this offseason, but they could be prepping for another departure. After joining the team in a trade last offseason, Stephon Gilmore could be exiting Dallas just as fast as he joined the Cowboys. If Carolina Panthers edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney has it his way, Gilmore will be returning to Charlotte. On March 29, The Athletic reporter Joe Person posted a slice of a Clowney quote that saw him claim that Gilmore has been trying to get Carolina to re-sign him. Jadeveon Clowney on Stephon Gilmore, "I'm gonna try to get him to pull up, too," says Gilmore told him he's trying to get the Panthers to bring him back, Person wrote on X. For fans who want Gilmore back, that is tough news to hear. That, coupled with Cowboys CEO Stephen Jones' recent words on Gilmore, seems to signal that the CB won't be coming back. Gilmore was a key player in the Cowboys' success last year, especially after Trayvon Diggs had his season ended prematurely due to an ACL tear. But Dallas has two other CBs in the mix and may feel like the two-time All-Pro is surplus to requirements. On March 25, Jones was interviewed by media members and the topic of Gilmore came up. Based on Jones' answer, it seems like the Cowboys are planning for the 2024 season without the 33-year-old. "It's just having to pick and choose where you want to use your resources," Jones said, per blogging the Boys' Brandon Laurie. "Not only was Stephon really good for us on the field, but I'd say a better guy off the field in terms of how he goes about his business, just being a pro, helping the young guys. I hope things go well for him and he was nothing but very productive for us and we don't ever rule that out, either." Gilmore's veteran presence and championship experience is something all teams want. But with Diggs healthy again and Darren Bland coming off an All-Pro campaign, Gilmore may just not be able to hit the field enough to make his salary worth it. As Gilmore apparently tries to reunite with the Panthers, the Cowboys may be setting up their own reunion. On March 30, ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler released a report that says the Cowboys and former RB Ezekiel Elliott have mutual interest in linking up. The Dallas Cowboys and free agent running back Ezekiel Elliott have mutual interest in a reunion, sources tell ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Fowler wrote. While a deal between Elliott and his former club has not been reached, both sides are open to it, sources added. Dallas has yet to add a proper replacement for Tony Pollard since his free agency departure. Elliott may not be an effective feature back at this point, but he does know the organization well. In that sense, the Cowboys could add Elliott as an off-speed power RB and still add a speedier option in free agency or the NFL draft. Dallas Cowboys host former Ohio State QB for workout dinner as Dak Prescott's future remains uncertain. The Dallas Cowboys still have Dak Prescott under contract, but instead of extending him to free up cap space and secure him as the franchise QB for the future, Jerry Jones has opted to let his starting signal caller play out the final year of his contract, making him a free agent after 2024. This decision, which doesn't help the team free up space to add talent around him, feels odd to say the least. It's led to plenty of speculation about Prescott's future in Dallas, and there appears to be several scenarios on the table. Last year truly felt like the one where Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys could get past their postseason woes and make a run toward the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott was in the discussion for NFL MVP this season and closed out arguably the best regular season of his career. He closed out the regular season ranked in the top 5 in several major categories for NFL QB. He entered the playoff matchup against the Green Bay Packers with 4,516 yards, third, 36 touchdowns, first, 9 interceptions, and a QB rating of 72.5, second. Although some rolled their eyes when Jerry Jones and company decided to fire Kellen Moore at the end of last season, as he's regarded as one of the up-and-coming young and brilliant offensive minds, head coach Mike McCarthy took over play calling and the Dallas Cowboys offense looked elite for the majority of the year. Finally, Prescott and CeeDee Lamb found the perfect chemistry and emerged as arguably the top quarterback/wide receiver tandem in the league. Beyond Dak Prescott and the explosive offense that averaged 389 yards and 30 points per game and finished with 77 touchdowns in the regular season, the Dallas Cowboys had a defense that finished the season ranked 5th in the NFL. Everything was lined up for success, yet the Dallas brass finds themselves in an all-too-familiar position. After another disappointing early exit in the playoffs, the Dallas brass entered the offseason with more question marks than answers. The Cowboys are looking at a new quarterback amid what could be the last season the team has Dak Prescott under contract. With that in mind, the team is looking at other possible replacements that could end up being the starter in 2025. That search for the Dallas Cowboys begins this week as former Ohio State quarterback Corey Curtis worked out for the team today. Not only that, Curtis is scheduled to have dinner with the team. It was announced that the Quad City Steamrollers of the Indoor Football League announced that they would be signing Curtis for the 2024 season, and although he is excited about the opportunity, he wants to play in the league and the Dallas Cowboys could be his chance to get in the NFL. In Curtis' time at Ohio State, he had to share duties with the likes of J.T. Barrett, Tate Martell, Justin Fields, Joe Burrow, and the late Dwayne Haskins. After Justin Fields was named the starting quarterback in 2018, Curtis transferred to Bryant University where he spent 2 years before grad transferring to Gannon in 2021. Curtis spent 2 seasons as the Golden Knights quarterback. His final year saw him rack up 2,879 yards and 27 touchdowns through the air. Via Gannon Sports, the Dallas Cowboys talking with other quarterbacks is not shocking since the team could lose Dak Prescott next offseason. Prescott signed a 4-year, $160 million contract in 2021, which included no trade and no tag clauses. With no extension forthcoming, Prescott is on his way toward free agency in 2025. Cowboys predicted to trade Dak Prescott for huge draft haul amid contract stalemate. This is, of course, a hypothetical. It's speculation. And it's out of left field. Yet, it's also reasonable in light of the way things have unfolded for the Cowboys this offseason, and so it's at least worth consideration. In a proposed trade, USA Today's Cowboys site foresees Dallas trading away star quarterback to the Raiders for a sizable package that would allow the Cowboys to dive deep into a rebuild. The package in question? Well, it's based on what the Lions got in return for Matthew Stafford when they dealt him to the Rams for Jared Goff. The Cowboys would get back Aiden O'Connell, who was a rookie last season and took over as the starter at mid-season. They'd also get the number 13 pick in this year's draft, the Raiders' second-rounder, 44th overall, and their fourth-rounder, 112th. They would then get the Raiders' first and third-round picks in 2025, as well as a 2026 second-rounder. That's 6 picks, 5 of which are in the first 3 rounds. While trading away Prescott would be difficult to swallow, the Cowboys have made little effort to re-sign him as he heads into the final year of his contract. If the plan is to let him hit free agency next offseason, why not swap him for a big haul now? Here's the logic from writer K.D. Drummond on dealing away Dak. If Dallas isn't going to sign Prescott to an extension, why would they keep him for just a single season and only get a third-round compensatory consideration? The pick isn't guaranteed in 2026. If Dallas doesn't draft a QB in this draft, they have O'Connell compete with Trey Lance for QB1 status in training camp. Now, O'Connell did show some promise last season with the Raiders, though he also showed some serious weaknesses. He is an accurate passer who has some leadership skills, even as a rookie. He also holds on to the ball too long and too often lacks mobility. O'Connell went 5-5 as a starter and threw for 2,218 yards, or 201.6 per game, though he was sacked 24 times. In his last 4 games, the Raiders went 3-1 and O'Connell threw 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. He had a 98.4 quarterback rating in those games, clearly showing his improvement late in the season. But, of course, dealing away Prescott is not about getting O'Connell, it's about starting over for a Cowboys team that has disappointed badly in the postseason, most recently in the 48-32 drubbing at the hands of the Packers in January. In fact, Cowboys Wire is proposing the team trade away both Prescott and the team's other major contract consideration, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.